Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm finally jumping on the bandwagon of this video ends when I find a 5-star or whatever it is. But basically, it's a reading vlog in which I keep reading until I find a 5-star book. So I think the first book that we are going to be reading is Come With Me by Roald Malfi, because it's kind of chunky. I mean, the reason I'm picking it, okay, so it's like 400 pages, but the text is pretty small. But the reason I'm picking it is because it's a horror novel. I'm not exactly sure what it's about. I just know it's a horror novel, and I've been really getting into horror novels this year, so let's give this one a shot. I'm probably going to start the audiobook while I start dinner. I am 50 pages into Come With Me by Roald Malfi. It's interesting. I don't think that this is going to be a 5-star though, but I guess we'll see. It's interesting because you follow this man named Aaron whose wife died in a shooting at like this shopping center. And I thought that it would be like about grief and things like that, but it's kind of taking a turn where these lies are coming out about his wife, like things that Aaron didn't know about his wife and things that she lied to him about are coming out. And it's not what I was expecting when I picked up this book, but I'm just gonna keep reading a little bit. I'll probably update you when I get about halfway into this book. I'm like 60% into Come With Me by Roald Malfi. And like, I'm not hating it. It's fine. It's just, I don't know. I thought that it was a horror novel, and I thought, you know, I was like, bring on the creepiness and everything. But it's not. It's about, I mean, I already told you, it's about this man's wife who dies, and she's been lying to him for their entire marriage, and he's investigating what she was obsessed with, and, like, I just don't understand how he didn't know anything. Like, she must have been a really good liar if he didn't know any of this about her.
And I don't know, it's kind of just anticlimactic at this point because I don't really like his wife because she's lied about everything. And I don't really like Aaron either. And this is very character-driven. So sometimes character-driven novels are really, really good. They're some of my favorites. But sometimes character-driven novels I hate. This one is kind of just...
So last night I finished Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. And, sorry, that was my bookmark. I finished this last night and it was fine. It was definitely not a 5-star. I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Okay, I'm gonna put the picture of the book right there. It's like The Deal Breaker by Kat Kamari or something like that. Okay, so I started this. It's a romance. You follow this woman named Rory, who is a marketing, like, business owner. She has a small marketing firm. And this man named Wes comes into her office offering her, like, a $4 million marketing deal, which would be by far the biggest deal that they've ever done at this company. And of course she says yes, but he is her ex, like they're exes, and they end up kissing, and she's like, no, we can't do that again, and then she kisses him again. Here's the thing though, it's so funny because I was just thinking, oh, I need to update this vlog and say my thoughts. Like, it's fine. It's definitely not going to be 5 stars because there's no chemistry between these two. In fact, there's so, like, no chemistry that they're talking about how much chemistry they have. What? No. But there's zero chemistry. I'm sorry, but there's none. So I'm not hating it. It's fine, but it's kind of mediocre, which is good in a way because now it's the first in a series. I can delete the rest of the series. Like, I don't want to waste my time reading or listening to like a mediocre book when I could read all the amazing books. Sorry if that sounds harsh. Anyways, Blackjack is here. Say hi, Blackjack. Blackjack! Oh. Oh, Jelly Bean! Yeah. So, some puppo love. Bella went outside. I think she had to go to the bathroom. But here, these two babies. Babies are. Oh, look at her. Oh, hi, Jelly. He's trying to give lovin's. Because I haven't been here all day. I've been at work. So, he's just trying to lovin' on me. I'll update you later. Okay, so when I got home, I ate some popcorn and then went to sleep. It's been a couple of hours. I guess I really needed a nap. But I started listening to more of The Deal Breaker. Yeah, by Kat Carmine. Kat Carmen. I am going to listen to this more and go through my Kindle and audiobooks. I know that I kind of semi-recently did this, but I listened to the first chapter or two of a couple other romance books before I landed on this one. I just didn't talk about it. But I realized that I have a lot of smutty audiobooks and Kindle books that I don't really read. There's nothing wrong with reading like smutty type romance if that's your thing. It's just not my thing. I like more contemporary romantic comedy type romances. If I'm gonna read a romance, it's got to be like a rom-com in book form. I finished the deal breaker at work this morning. I definitely like the ending more than the beginning. It took me so long to get into it. I did, however, decide to delete the rest of the series off of my Audible, so it's no longer on my TBR. And then I went to this author and I went on to Goodreads, and pretty much all of the reviews are saying the same thing about her other books too. So I deleted all of them off of my Kindle. Off my Kindle and off my Audible. I had some on Audible and some on Kindle, but I don't have anything else from this author. I'm not opposed to reading new stuff from her, but I heard that all of her characters are kind of flat and that the chemistry just wasn't there, and that was my biggest thing because it was a romance book. So I haven't decided if I'm going to give it 2 or 3 stars, but that is the update. I will figure out what I'm going to be reading next, and I'll update you later. Editing Alita popping in to tell you about our next book. It's If I Die Tonight by Allison Galen. And at the time of filming this clip that was too dark for me to post, I thought that this followed this kid named Wade, who had made this Facebook post on his mom's Facebook saying that by the time you read this, I will be dead. I already took the pills. I'm starting to feel them. Some of you are going to be happy that I'm doing this. Others are going to be heartbroken. Mostly, I just want you to know, to his mom and to his brother, that he's really sorry and that he didn't do the things that he was accused of. And that just like brought me straight into the story, and I was obsessed with it. So I had to read it for this reading vlog. And now I'm going to pop it back to past Alita. Okay, I went to Savers because we went to Applebee's. They have 50-cent wings right now. So we bought way too many wings and we ate way too many wings. And then Savers is like right across the street. So we as in like I forced my husband to go. And I bought a couple things, but surprisingly, I bought more for my kids, like my students, than I did for myself. I don't know if that's surprising or not. Not really. I mean, that's the kind of teacher I am. So we're gonna quickly go through that, and then I'll give you an update on If I Die Tonight. By the time you read this, I'll be dead. If I Die Tonight by Allison Galen. But first, let's go through this. The first 2 things, I want to open up a store. Like, right now we have a PBIS store, so Positive Behavior Incentive Store. That's not what it stands for. I don't remember, but it's the PBIS store. It's like you get these points for doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, for being a good community member, for being kind, you know, all that jazzy stuff. And then you get to spend your points at the store. And right now the store is with a different teacher and it's online, and you get to pick everything that you want. And I usually go once a week for my kids. Here's the thing though. Next year, I'm going to be teaching all subjects again, which is great. But I'm thinking that as like a classroom management style or classroom management strategy that I want to use next year. I don't have all of it worked out, so don't ask me. But I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to make some like fake money or use Monopoly money or something like that, and have my kids apply for different jobs. Like this year, I'm not really being very good at jobs at all. We don't really have them. I just say, hey, just help me pass out papers, help me do the car, help me, and I have a bunch of helpers all throughout the day. But I'm not sure how I want to do it yet. I just want to have like jobs, and then they're going to apply for those jobs. And then each day that they do their job well, they will get paid for it. So if they're not there to do their job, they won't get paid. But I'm not sure logistically how it's going to work yet, but I want some kind of like job and money situation. And if there's job and fake money and stuff like that, and you know, it'll help them with their math skills, because we'll have payday Fridays and shopping Mondays or something like that. And anyway, you're gonna want a store. So I found these. So this one was like $4. It has some like My Little Ponies, a Minion, and I don't know, it's like a squishy dinosaur or something. So I got that. And then I also found this one for $4, and it just has like little different pieces. Some more My Little Pony, some like G.I. Joe. I don't think that's a G.I. Joe, but it's something. So that's for next year, but I'm very excited about it. So our first thing is awesome project files. This I was flipping through at Savers, which is basically Value Village. It's just called Savers, but it's the same company. So there's 3 different sections. There's body, weather, and science. So body, this has like how to use the projects, digestion. So not all of these are standards, and I might not use all of them, but it would be cool. This is about the mind. There's a mind map, which would be kind of interesting to teach. There's super senses. I do, technically, it's not in the standards for 2nd grade. I think it's more of a kindergarten, maybe 1st grade standard, but it's like testing all your different senses, and it has different activities and different projects. Then there's like different posters, and my school is more of an anchor chart school, so we're supposed to make most of our stuff with our kids. However, if I look at the posters that are in here, it can either help me create the anchor chart, or then I have a couple of picture books. I'm not really going to tell you about them, I don't think, but there's Count the Monkeys by Mac Barnett and Kevin Cornell. It's like monkeys and different animals, and it's a counting book. So 1 king cobra, 3 crocodiles, you know, so it's like a counting book. I would probably, so I'm like 30 books away from having a book every single day of the school year, and yeah, so I'm starting to try and pick those up. Then this is kind of like the science one. This one is Little Biologists. And it just has a little bit of facts and little experiments that we can do. So that might be kind of fun if I can incorporate that. Then I Need a Hug, and it's also in Spanish. We'll end with my books. This one I was super excited about. So I'm pretty sure that this is like the Survive books. I don't know if you guys, hold on, whole collection of those. Kids really love them. This is the Can You Survive? And it's like a choose your own adventure. There's like the Titanic, the jungle, and an earthquake. I got 3 Magic School Bus books. So there's The Search for the Missing Bones. There's Dinosaur Detectives and The Wild Whale Watcher. The Wild Whale Watch. And these are like chapter books. So they're kind of a bridge between picture books and chapter books. During our silent reading, I try to have most of my kids read chapter books. However, if they're not quite ready for chapter books, then they have their little leveled readers that they can practice. Then, this is the Big Book of Bernstein Bears beginner books. So this has Bears in the Night, The Bears Picnic, The Bears Vacation, Spooky Old Tree, The Bike Lesson, and Dinosaur Bones. So that's 6 stories. So that just made my 30 books, all, you know, took that down to like 23 now with the other book. So I'm super excited for that one. So I have 4 books here. And they are the ones that I bought for myself. They are all horror novels. Let's start with this one because I'm 90% sure this is in the 101 books I must read before I'm murdered. So that's really why I bought it. It's Never Let Me Go by Kazu. I'm so sorry. I'm going to butcher that, so I'm not even going to try. Bentley Little books. There's like 3 of them, and they are all in pretty good condition. Again, I don't know what they're about, but I know that they're horror novels, and apparently I'm collecting all the Bentley Little books without reading them, so let's just add to that collection. There's The Mailman, Going Postal. There's The Association, Follow the Rules, Don't Say a Word, and Lock Your Doors by Bentley Little. Then this one is University, A New Class of Horror by, of course, Bentley Little. Alright, let's try this again. This is take 2. I did not update you 100 pages into If I Die Tonight by Allison Galen. I am actually 200 pages in, which is slightly more than halfway. So, in the prologue, you follow this guy named Wade, who is a teenager, and he's been accused of something. But you're not sure what he was accused of. You just know that he was accused of something, and that he, in the prologue, he commits suicide, or he takes some pills, and he's like, I'm not going to post this until I'm actually starting to feel it. I am really sorry to my mom and to my brother, and some of you are going to be really happy about this, and others are not going to be, but I don't really think I have any friends, so no one's really going to be sad except for my mom and my brother, and I'm sorry to them. And basically he says that he's been accused of something, but he didn't do it. He swears on his life. that he didn't do it. And that prologue had me just jolted. It had me like, oh my gosh, what is this book gonna even be? And then you flash back 5 days before Wade is taking pills. And you get differing perspectives. Mostly you're following from Jackie's perspective, who is Wade's mom. But you also get some from Connor and some from... Connor is Wade's brother. I don't think we've gotten Wade's perspective at all. But basically, oh, and this girl named Anna. So basically what happens is that Annie gets carjacked. And the theory, the working theory, is that Wade carjacked her. And this boy named Liam, who goes to Wade's school, he heard Annie's cries for help. And he went to help this woman who's being carjacked. And the perpetrator, the one that stole her car, ran Liam over. And he ends up dying from the injuries that he incurred from being ran over by a car when he was trying to help someone. And I wish we got Wade's perspective. Like, I understand why we don't, because you want the mystery there and things like that. But Wade is having a hard time with friends and, you know, just socially, because he's a teenage boy and teenagers have a lot of issues. I was one a while ago, a long time ago, actually. But, you know, teenagers have a lot of issues, and it's very, very compelling. It's very intriguing. I just want to know the truth. I want to know what actually happened to this woman. So I think I'm just going to sit here. I don't know if I'm going to finish all of it right now, but I am going to start reading this. I might film when I get closer to the end so you can see my raw reaction, potentially. It's an idea. We'll see. But I'll probably update you when I finish, after I finish. I just joined Reading Sprints, so we're talking right now. But when I actually get to the reading portion of Reading Sprints, I think I will have you guys watch and fast forward. let's talk. It's been several hours since I finished If I Die Tonight by Allison Galen. You saw me finishing it, but then my battery died. So here we are. I was gonna immediately come on here and start talking to you, but my thoughts were all over the place. So, ooh, are they still? Maybe. That ending, best ending to a book ever. Best prologue, one of the best prologues I've ever read. Best ending. Now the stuff in the middle, let's talk about it. So I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna finish If I Die Tonight and I'm gonna read it for this vlog. And there's no way it's gonna be a 5-star, because at that time I was 150 pages into the book, and I'll tell you what my thoughts were. So my thoughts were that there are way too many perspectives. And like, I get it, they were setting up the mystery and all of them had very intriguing backstories. However, I feel like it took a little too long to set up the mystery, and I do think that there were a couple. Okay, fine, one perspective that I wouldn't have in there. One or two. Just like take one or two perspectives out, because there was a couple of perspectives that felt very redundant and very boring. So I was like, it's fine. It's gonna be like a 3-star. It's okay. I have thought about DNFing it a couple of times up until this point, okay? Well, up until like 150 pages then. Okay? So I was like, it's fine. It's just okay. It's the second Allison Galen book that I've ever read. And I was finding myself a little bit disappointed, but I still got up and I still finished it. So about the 200 page mark, things start to change. So I think for me, I didn't like Pearl's perspective. Perla? The cop. Pearl. I just don't like detective or cop type stories. I do think that she's a good character because she's very flawed and she's not like the perfect, cop. She has problems, which I enjoyed, but I don't think I needed her perspective. And there was like one other perspective that I personally didn't need. Also, the victim of the car theft, like the car theft at the beginning, her name is Amy, not Anna. But this is very much so a small town family drama about this woman who someone steals her car, and then this other boy overhears her screaming, so he goes and he tries to stop the car thief from leaving, and the car thief runs this kid over, and ultimately he ends up dying. And I want to tell you some things about this book, but I can't because it will spoil the entire thing. Like, everything will be spoiled. So just know that it's an emotional family drama. It's a small town thriller. And there's pieces of police protocol, police procedural. Is that how you say it? I could have gone without the police procedural personally, but I know a lot of people really like that. This story was gripping from the very first page, and then it lost me for a little while, and it was just too many hands in the cookie jar, and then it got me back, and like I loved the way it ended. I did find a lot of the ending to be very predictable. Like a few things that happened, I was like, I called it. So I can't tell you what my predictions were because, you know, spoilers. I'm having so much trouble talking about this book because spoilers. So I'm gonna do something that I absolutely hate when other booktubers do it. So I apologize. But I love watching these, this video ends when I find a 5-star, and then I absolutely hate it when said booktuber is like, oh, yeah, it's a 4.5-star book. It's a 4.5-star book. Because it lost me so much in the middle, and I feel like there were one or two too many perspectives, and it was very redundant. And I did get, it was slow, and it got a little boring for part of it. I do have to give it, I was going back and forth between 4 and 5 stars. So I'm just gonna land right in the middle and go 4.5 stars, which means that this video is not over yet. And I'm sorry. I know some people are like rolling their eyes like 4.5 stars. It's close enough. You found your 5 now. Go. But because of those issues, and some of them might not even seem like big deals to you, but to me it was a very big deal when I was reading this. For those reasons, it's a 4.5, not a 5-star. It's emotional. The thing that I loved about this book so much was that it talks a lot about like mental health without being like preachy, and it talks a lot about there are problems like drug abuse, and there's a absent father who does essentially become part of the story later on down the road, and there's like it's not a one-sided thriller. There are so many different sides to it. There are so many different perspectives. And like I said, I do feel like it was a little too many perspectives for me. And the setup of the mystery was like very long and drawn out. However, I did really love, there's like chats, there's text messages, there's Facebook posts, and everything like that interwoven into the story. And that part was one of my favorite parts. I love when they use like mixed media, and in a way I feel like that was mixed media. See, there's like it wasn't like I kind of assumed some things in this story that I ended up being right about. But there are also a couple of like plot holes that just never completely come together. Most of the mystery came together really nicely, and I loved the ending. But there were a couple of things that happened in here, and I'm like, well, that doesn't even make sense. Or like, why didn't we get the answers to that part? There's one or two specific small details that probably don't matter at the end of the day, but they do matter to me. So ultimately, this was very, very enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. It made me super sad, super emotional. So I had to like belt out some tunes for several hours today and just kind of sing and dance and make myself feel better. So I don't know what I'm going to be reading next, but when I figure it out, I'll let you know. You get like a little peek into making my shorts. I do a literature in 60 seconds or less short every single week, and it might not be as easy as you think it is. So I just read about today's or tomorrow's, but I need to film it today so that it's up tomorrow. And now we're gonna film my short on my camera. So you just get a little sneak peek of that. It'll probably fast forward.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Literature in 60 Seconds or Less. Today we are going to be talking about The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. Take two now. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Literature in 60 Seconds or Less. Today we're going to be talking about The Wizard of Oz, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum, which this was written in 1900. Like, everyone has seen the movie, right? I mean, the movie's so good. This is one of the ones where I actually do recommend the movie and the book, although the book ending is different than the movie ending, so if you've only watched the movie, I do recommend the book. I've read The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and I've seen the movie. But it's a lot about, like, Dorothy getting sucked up into this other world, Oz, in a tornado, and, like, finding her way home, and there's friendship along the way, and it's really sweet. By Frank Baum, which this was written in 1900.
Take 3.
Hi friends, welcome back to Literature in 60 Seconds or Less. Today we're going to be talking about The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum, which was written in 1800. And I haven't seen the movie or the book. So I'm actually I do highly recommend reading it and watching it, to be honest, but the movie ending is different than the book ending because it's actually a series. It's like a 12-book series. I haven't read the first one. But it's a lot about like Dorothy growing up in a tornado and getting stuck in Oz, finding her way home, and along the way she encounters friendship at different levels, and it's just so pure-hearted and such a fun drawing. Hi friends, welcome back to Literature in 60 Seconds or Less. Today we're talking about The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum, which was written in 1800. And I haven't seen the movie or the book. So I don't know actually.
Caliban. He was just dancing, and then as soon as the camera turns on, oh, there, kind of. And Blackjack is laying down. She's being a good girl. Blackjack, are you a good girl? Oh, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. And my baby girl is over here. She sleeps a lot. You better get off her. She's gonna bite you. I am really trying to read physical books off my shelf. I want to get under 100 books on my TBR shelf, which I'm finding that is not ever going to happen this year if I keep buying books. I haven't bought that many, to be honest with you, but at the same time, like, if I think I had 168 books, physical books, on my TBR at the beginning of the year. And I've bought or obtained 47 more. I'm not reading my physical collection fast enough for it to be under 100 at the end of the year. But you know what, at the end of the day, it's fine. I like owning a lot of books. I like having a physical collection of books to read, and I don't mind having a bigger TBR. But I did get this one sent to me. It was an ARC. It is now out. This came out in February of this year. But this will be my second Olivia Dade book. I read, spoiler alert, because I got the ARC of spoiler alert, and I thought it was only okay. I ended up, I think I gave it like 2 stars. It just wasn't for me. Was it the reality show one? It might have been the real. I honestly can't remember that book at all. I remember reading it, but I don't remember what it was about. So, we're gonna try At First Spite by Olivia Dade. I don't know a whole lot about this. I was so graciously sent this by the publisher, so thank you. I'm so sorry that I'm very late to the party, but I will be reading this and hopefully putting a review up of it. I don't know anything other than it's a hate to love romance. Let's see. It says, welcomes you to Harlot's Bay. So this is a new series called Harlot's Bay. And this is in this delightfully sexy rom-com about a woman who buys the town's famous spite house, only to realize the infuriating man she can't stand lives right next door, and their unwilling proximity might spark something neither can ignore. Ooh. So that sounds good. I'm gonna make some coffee and get started on this book, but I'm excited to finally get to this. I should have read it already. Ooh, I should also do a NetGalley vlog, because I think that my NetGalley score is like 30%, and that's so bad. I'm never gonna get any more books from NetGalley if I don't actually read the ones that I already have and review them. So maybe we'll do like a catch up on maybe in the summer. That feels like a summertime thing. But anyways, I'm gonna get started on this and I'll catch up with you. This time I will try to catch up with you about 100 pages in. That's 6 chapters. So I can tell you my initial thoughts and then also stop around halfway. Last time I was so engrossed with the story that I didn't stop 100 pages in. I stopped a little bit after the halfway point, but I'll try to be better, I promise. Okay, I lied to you. I'm gonna update you on the author's note because, okay, there's the dedication, which was really cool. So I guess I'll do the dedication and the author's note because I was not expecting something already. For my caring, whip-smart therapists, past and present, Wendy, Kathy, and Katie, I'm endlessly grateful to you and for you. And for my husband who climbed into the shower with me, grabbed the soap, and helped take care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. And then the author's note. If you're a reader who appreciates learning about sensitive content ahead of time, this note is for you. Otherwise, please skip ahead to the prologue. I usually just skip ahead to the prologue, but I don't know. I guess I was wanting to try something new. Still here? Alright, this is what you should know. At First Spite addresses grief and clinical depression. It also mentions the accidental death of a young girl. Although that death does not occur on the page, if you're sensitive to any of those topics, please read with care. And please know that I've done my best to balance the painful bits of this book with lots of laughter and love. I did not know that there was like... Oh man. Okay. I will update you at page 100.
Tell me that you're ready to go.
it's very readable. So you follow Athena, who's who was supposed to get married, and you get introduced to her and her husband in the first chapter. Her husband to be's name is Johnny, and you get introduced to them in the prologue. And they're at like their engagement party in December, and their wedding is still a few months away, 8 months away. So, you know, they're just like the early stages of planning it. And Athena has not met Johnny's brother, Matthew, until this wedding party or this engagement party. And they didn't even know, like, she didn't realize that that was the brother that has been talking badly about her. Okay, well, we're not back yet, so I might just jump back into this. But, sorry. But she meets Matthew, which is her soon-to-be brother-in-law. And then he's basically talking badly about her, even though he doesn't really know her. He's saying some really hurtful things to Johnny, her future husband, and his brother. And he had been talking badly about her the entire time that Johnny and Athena had known each other, even though she's never met this man. And now, basically, they called off their wedding. I think that it was Johnny who called off the wedding, and now Johnny is in the honeymoon that she planned, and she has moved to Harlot's Bay, which is where Matthew lives, and they hate each other. And like, I feel like this is gonna be messy and complicated, and it's gonna be like a relationship between Matthew, her almost brother-in-law, and Athena. And so far, I mean, like I said, I'm only 30 pages in, and it's really good. So I think what is happening is that we actually have an hour left of reading sprint. So I'm just gonna sit here, finish my coffee, and finish reading for the next hour. Then I'll check in there. I do have to go to my P.O. box. I need to send off some books from Pingo, and I haven't been there at all this week, so I just need to see if I have anything. I don't think I do, but I'm gonna take this out and get my reading glasses on and just read for the next hour until we meet on sprints. It's only been like 15 more pages, but now you're following from Matthew's perspective, and he just called Johnny, who is Athena's ex-fiance, and Matthew is his brother. But I feel like there's something that we're missing. There's something that happened like a month ago that Johnny, the fiance, the ex-fiance, was like, oh yeah, of course I didn't tell you that she was buying the house next door to both of them. Like, she literally lives in the middle row house. So it's like all these houses together. This one is Johnny's, this one is Athena's, and this one is Matthew's. And Matthew called Johnny to figure out, well, when were you gonna tell me? And Johnny's like, oh, well, she's not gonna move there now that we're not together. It's okay, don't worry about it. But she did move there because she resigned from her teaching job, thinking she was gonna move in with Johnny, and that they could, since their houses, like their row houses, are next to each other, they were gonna just bust out that wall and have like one big huge house together, you know, because future. And it's just, I feel like the brothers, the conversation they're having, it feels like they're hiding something from the reader. And I really want to know what they're hiding. Like, what am I missing? So I'm very much enjoying this. I wasn't really sure. That's why it sat on my shelf for a couple months, and I should have read it 2 months ago before it came out. But so far, it's just like this really feel-good, fun, like, it's not even a romance yet. But I'm wondering, my only thing is, like, are Athena and Matthew gonna get together? Like, the brother, the almost brother-in-law who hates her? Or is it like a second chance romance with her ex-fiance? Right now, I don't see either of those things happening. But I'm just enjoying the ride. It's very, very messy. It's really, really messy, but I like it so far. we found a 5-star book. Ooh! I apologize to the publisher that sent this to me as an ARC. So it came out on February. It came out February of this year. And I just added it to my shelf and didn't pick it up until now. I wish I would have read it right away. But, this was so messy and so fun. It had me crying and laughing at the same time. Don't go into this lightly. It's not like a fluffy romance. I mean, it is a romance, but there's so many different layers in this book, and it's such a slow burn. Like, the first half of this book, they hate each other. So this is a romance between Athena and Matthew. And Matthew is Johnny's older brother. And Johnny is Athena's ex-fiance. I told you. Messy. So messy. And there's a lot that happens that, like, I don't feel comfortable telling you because of spoilers. I will tell you that Athena, me and her are the same. Me and her are one and the same because she deals trigger warnings for, like, everything, but she deals with clinical depression, and she has spouts of her depression when it's worse. And Matthew, like, helps her fight her depression and see herself in a different light because she also is super duper hard on herself. Like, she has 2 different master's degrees and she's dipped her toes in a few different careers that never really panned out the way that she had hoped. And Athena thinks that, like, her master degree programs were waste because she didn't do anything with them. And she thinks that the different types of jobs that she's had throughout the years are waste, and that she is a waste of space. And I love the plus size rep. And also, it was just, like, everything about this book was perfection. Whoa, perfection. It has everything. It has, like I said, mental health rep. So make sure that you're in the right headspace to read this. Don't go in thinking it's a fluffy romance because it for sure is not. But even with all the heavy content in here, it was so perfect because it was like Matthew was trying to rescue Athena, and then in the end Athena's like, I don't need you to rescue me. And, like, in a lot of ways they were really, really good together because in a lot of ways Athena really did need him, and, like, Matthew boosted Athena up and, like, made her see all the goodness inside of her. But Athena was like Matthew is a doctor, and Athena realize some things. Like, he's had a tragic backstory. Him and his brother both have a very, very tragic backstory. And because of some of the things that happened in his past, he has these fears, and Athena helps him fight them. And just together they're so good. And even beyond that, though, like, it's more about Athena finding out how to get through her day-to-day life without being depressed, without blaming herself for things that are not her fault, without being like extra hard on herself. And oh, if you know me in real life, then we both know that my expectations of myself is like way up at the ceiling. And I do hold other people in my life to a very high standard, but like mine's all the way at the ceiling, and you know, everyone else is like right here. And the thing that like stood out to me most about this book was that when Athena like made a mistake, because people make mistakes, but when she did something wrong or made a mistake, she beat herself up about it, and she's like, I'm a trash person. And I felt very seen right there. I felt very represented, which I know I have issues, and I'm very hard on myself, like harder on myself than anyone else is. Like, I'm my own worst enemy, and I know that. But I just felt very like, I just wanted to hold Athena and give her like a great big hug and tell her that it's okay, that like everything isn't her fault. But I really, really, really enjoyed this. So we finally found that 5-star book for this reading vlog. Now, I don't have a book coming up tomorrow, so either I'm gonna edit this vlog today and get it up first thing in the morning, or I'm going to have to film like some kind of discussion video and edit it and get that up for tomorrow, because I don't have anything planned for tomorrow. So, I mean, other than work, but I mean, like, on my channel, I'm supposed to come out with content on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I don't, oh, and a short on Saturdays, and I don't have anything planned tomorrow. And just hit me earlier. I think we read 3 books in this reading vlog, right? So Come With Me by Roald Malfi. Ronald. I can't speak. Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. If I Die Tonight by Allison Galen. And At First Sight by Olivia Dade. So, oh my gosh, if you've read any of these, let me know in the comments below. Tell me your thoughts, your opinions, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye! Don't forget to like and subscribe.